they try to give 2 weeks notice, but I was in Maryland and I completely spaced that I had coffee this Sunday. So
I actually, that happens.
The world will not fall apart if we don't have it.
we've got
But thank you for
right,
doing all that.
everything's
I
ready.
brought 2 trays of eggs, so I put them in the refrigerator, so I'll run back there and put them out.
There's a bunch of
Guys,
stuff.
it's
in
sign
the
me
Yeah,
up
I
for
saw there
another
were a lot
time.
more things in there. So
fridge.
that's
I try to bring food through as
Oh, yeah,
well.
I always do.
Yeah. But in any case, I was so grateful that I didn't have my little, because my kids were like 2 and 4 at the time.
Wow.
I was so grateful I didn't have them in the back seat of the car, because they probably would have gotten killed. You know, because because literally my Volkswagen was about this big. I mean, I guess these kids were climbing around, they were in a big car, and they just didn't stop. You know, it's like,
That's one of the dangers of more than one teenager in a car at a time.
Yeah.
It's serious.
I mean, they were fine. Their car was practically, you know, it wasn't even part. Well, I didn't really see it. It wasn't really dented or anything. It was just fine. It was squished. So,
I scared the shit out of me.
yeah, and for years, I was like, do I want to look at the back seat or not? I mean, the rear view mirror or not? Because I saw them coming and there wasn't, you know, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, there was a car in front of me, so I got squished between 2 big American cars in this little death trap of a Volkswagen.
I remember somebody really thinking that so profoundly. Yeah, it looked American. I was like,
Yeah. But it was just this instantaneous, yeah. But yeah, I probably would have lost my children if they had been in that back seat, and I didn't have a dog at the time. So.
well, 2 small children and a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was classic shock because the police they are you okay? Are you okay? I'm fine. And they drove me to a friend's house. I got there and then about I'd been there for about a half an hour and it's like I'm in excruciating pain. This little, pitiful ball, and so she took me to the emergency room and they admitted me. Yeah, it was the first time I ever had morphine, and I remember laying on the bed and watching these sparkles coming down the ceiling. Going, I think that must be the drugs. Yeah, that's great.
I remember when I gave birth, well, I didn't give birth, I had a C-section, I had an emergency C-section.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, so my
We all collectively forgot
mother-in-law
about our
came
souls.
in,
Come get 'em.
and I said to her, she was apparently, hey, Sue, morphine is great. Well, I have no memory of this. I'll do silver. Silver for me. Silver.
Anybody want
What did you want? I'm sitting on it. I thought so. It's like I'm sitting on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that last song. It's all in unison anyway. The 1 foot lead with love.
Oh yeah, the call response thing.
Yeah.
And I'll just read it. I'm like, why am I trying to like?
Yeah. So I'm trying to do things. It is good to be at work.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
I got them in something called Sundays. Focus. And I'm not doing a whole thing.
How's your side gig going? The insurance.
Oh,
Are you gonna retire?
He's like, more of that for you, please.
So the plan is coming out.
both mix, I mix wet and dry dog food with some kind of human food. And then
Well,
he'll
you're
eat it.
expensive
But if
compared to
it's
the
just dog food, he won't eat it.
I think dog food is
So,
not good for learning. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
The system is not pushed on it. So I'm gonna try this one. It's like, can we eat more of that?
you mean
More
an
now,
adjunct
please?
or substitute subbing?
I get such a kick out of them when they want something and you're not giving it to them, and they'll look at it, and they'll look at you, they'll look at it. It's like,
Yeah. The thing about Sundays is that it's very expensive.
oh, what is it?
What about
It's a vegan cream that's freeze-dried.
You know what I bought? I bought some freeze-dried
Oh, nice.
thinking maybe he would eat it. He didn't, so I ended up taking it to some guy who was panhandling with the dog.
Yeah, well, Maestro
He was
is
so
also, you
grateful.
know, the
I'm
orchestra.
sure the dog appreciated it.
So for my website, for my art, when I created it, each item needed a title. I've never named one.
Oh, you just
So I have it all based on
difficult.
So, like, you know, certain design is the Grand Canyon Suite, or is Jitterbug, or is, you know, something. I mean, it's loosey-goosey. Yeah. No, it's glass. I mean, it's dishes, it's bowls, it's, you know, I make multiples of stuff.
And
So,
Otis just, really notices it and
and one was,
he doesn't want to deal with it.
it's a salmon, so it's salmon saltando, which is some musical term that means jumping. It's like I have to come up with something. Oh, listen, it's
They never stop. And then when they clean up, he follows them around. So like his bonding is
now, is this strictly for medical? No.
they're trainers. They're really
I know.
Oh, so it's all health
They
related.
train for it.
It's all health. Yeah.
I've taken him before, and all he does is high.
I have a magic bowl. Good morning. Welcome to the, good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. Very well done. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. Whether you're joining us here in the sanctuary or online, we are glad you're here. My name is Janet Stevens, and I'm a member of the UUCS Storytellers and Homilists team. Reverend Monica is taking a few well-deserved vacation days, birthday celebration, shall we say. So Jason Holt, who is serving as celebrant, and I will be leading worship. Here at UUCS, you are welcome and loved just as you are. However you interpret the divine, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identity, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we're glad you're here. In the spirit of community, let us gather in love and in hope, and let us now worship together. Please rise in body, in voice, or in spirit to join in singing our gathering hymn, which is number 6 in the gray hymnal, or it will be projected behind me just as long as I have breath.
Away. Good morning. Works the second time. My name is Jason Holt. I'm your celebrant today. Please join me as we recite our affirmation together. The words are projected here and printed in your words of service. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world. Now as we do the chalice lighting, we light candles each week to spark hope in our hearts and remind us of our connections. The first candle we light here at UUCS for our members and friends. The second we light for our Unitarian brothers and sisters in Simonfala, Transylvania. The third we light for the children here in this community and for all around the world. So I'd like to borrow the flames in your heart and have a visual representation while we're here gathered together today. All right, so please join me in singing the flames to life.
All right, my friends, if I can have everyone, young and young at heart, come up here and join us for a story. Right. There's so many of you. Today, we are celebrating Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a man who taught the world to stand up for justice with love and courage. But Dr. King wasn't the only one who practiced resistance and worked to make our world fairer. Many others came before him and helped build the path he walked. People like Fannie Barrier Williams, a Unitarian Universalist whose life reminds us what it means to live our UU value of justice and its call to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. Let's hear her story. More than 150 years ago, before cars and airplanes, when people traveled by train and women wore long skirts and hats, a little girl named Fannie Barrier lived in New York State with her parents, her brother George, and her sister Ella. Fannie's family went to school, did chores, played in the snow, and went to church on Sundays, just like many families do now. Her dad was a deacon. Her mom taught Bible school, and Fannie played the piano and loved to paint. In many ways, her life was ordinary and happy, but one thing made it very different. Back then, many people wrongly believed that some people were better than others, men better than women, white people better than black people. And Fannie Barrier was a black girl. When she grew up, Fannie wanted to study music and art, but when she went to Boston, her classmates said, "We don't want her here. She's dark. She doesn't belong. If she stays, we'll all go." So the school asked her to leave. So she went to Washington, D.C. to study painting. But there, she had to sit behind a screen so no one could see her. "If the other students know you're here," her teacher warned, "they'll make you go." Over and over again, people told Fannie she didn't belong, not because of who she was inside, but because of the color of her skin. It wasn't fair. It was racism. and Fanny knew it was wrong. When she was older and living in Chicago, some women invited her to join a club, but the others said, no, if she stays, we'll leave. They argued about it for more than a year. Finally, they voted to let Fanny in, but when she joined, those other women left. Now, Fanny didn't like that. It hurts when people won't let you belong. It hurts when people don't want you around. Some days, Fanny felt angry about it. Some days, she felt sad. But most days, Fanny had no time to feel angry or sad because she was busy making groups of her own. Fanny knew how much it hurt to be left out, and she knew it would be a lot easier and more fun to get things done together with others than by yourself. She and her husband, the lawyer S. Lane Williams, joined the All Souls Unitarian Church in Chicago. They helped start a hospital where everyone was welcome, no matter the color of their skin. They created a group to study art and music. They helped open a home for girls and created a community center where people of all colors could live side by side. Fanny worked for women's right to vote and helped fund the NAACP, one of the most important civil rights organizations in our country. Fanny didn't live to see everything she dreamed of come true, but because she resisted, taught, built, and believed, the world grew fairer, step by step. She showed what it means to practice justice, not just wish for it. What I love about this story is how it reminds us that while Dr. King carried the torch in the fight against racism, people like Fanny Barrier Williams helped light it. And now it's our turn to carry that light forward. Each time we speak up, bear witness to, or help change something unfair, we are practicing resistance of racism, and we are living our UU value of justice. All right, my friends, please help us create the Love Arch, and we will be on our way.
Not everyone thinks the same way that I do. And while this was shocking news at one point in my life, I've become conditioned to this idea through repeated bludgeoning in the School of Hard Knocks. It gets better. Not only do people think different thoughts, they have entirely different ways of thinking. Each one of you is special. Special snowflakes that have the ability to thoroughly confound me with your individualized way of seeing the world and navigating through it. Keep that in mind. The golden rule. We know it well. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I know you've heard this, I know you've practiced it, and I'm equally certain that you've tried to live it and wondered, why did it go so wrong? It was in this very sanctuary a few months ago where I was contemplating the golden rule and getting a daily reminder of its importance and the use. As I listened, an idea struck me that I'd like to share. What if those people that treat you poorly, that don't extend you grace, are following the golden rule? Just not the way that you recognize it, not the way you think it should be done. What if the person that belittles you, shames you, yells at you, what if they are doing unto you as they would do unto themselves? It struck me that not everyone has a healthy sense of self-worth. Not everyone has the same fortune in parents' circumstance, childhood, mental health, physical health, you name it. There are people that downright hate themselves, and they treat you exactly the same way that they treat themselves. I was dumbfounded by this inspiration. If the mental recordings in your head loop negative thoughts, you cannot accept the love that others offer because you don't feel it for yourself. If you are used to beating yourself up emotionally, then of course you do that to everyone else. It's just what you're used to. Now that's about as far as I've gotten. A reflection on the golden rule and why it might be a bit tarnished. You're going to have to figure out for yourself how to get everyone to love themselves and everyone around them. All I've got today is a reminder to take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. And if you don't like what you see, do what you can to change it. And if it's something you can't change, come to accept it. And maybe that will extend to the other people in your life. I find it so much easier to be kind to those around me when I've done all that work for myself.
Good morning. Since tomorrow is MLK Day, we are doing a selection of songs throughout the service that are from the Justice Choir Song Handbook, which is a free resource for all of you to go look at. So our first piece is Oh, Be Swift to Love. And all of our pieces are also by composers of color. And I just wanted to share what she said about this song. Nancy says, "The simple but profound text spoke to me when it appeared on a Facebook post in summer 2016 during the antagonistic political conventions and following the killing of Philandro Castile in our community." And she also hails from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we are all wishing her well. This is Oh, Be Swift to Love.
Good morning, I'm Ariane Kirkpatrick, and I am your Lifeline lay minister this morning. Lifeline lay ministers are members of UUCS, who are here to help people in times of need. We can be identified by our lavender stoles and badges. You can reach out to us by visiting the Lifelines table in Hanneman Hall each Sunday after the service, or by using the contact information printed in your order of service. Each week when we gather for worship, we share the joys and sorrows of members of this community. As I read them, we'll light a candle to symbolize the truth that is shared and to remind us that when we hold together, what we hold together brings more of the light of understanding and compassion to all of us. We have one sorrow and two joys to share today that were written in our book. The first is a sorrow from Eric Schumann. Please send healing thoughts to Carolyn Patterson, who has been at Salem Hospital since Friday. First joy is from Sophia Holt, and she writes, "My joy is that my family is happy and healthy." And the second joy is from Meryl McKee. She writes, "The social justice team is overjoyed to announce that UUCS raised over $7,000 at the benefit for the ICE detainee families. Money is still coming in, so stay tuned for the rest." That's fantastic news. And we light one final candle to remind us of the joys and sorrows carried in this community, which remain unspoken in our hearts. Lifeline lay ministers also offer a time for those who would like to have a deeper connection or a more personal sharing of a piece of their lives, which we call compassionate connection. After the service, if anyone would like to join me for a few minutes of conversation, meet me at the front of the sanctuary, and we'll go to the green room where we can have some time to talk. Thank you, and may you be well.
You may remain seated as we perform our heart song. In your hymnals, it's 169. The choir is singing from a different arrangement. That's from the Justice Choir song and book. And unless you have perfect pitch, you shouldn't have, it's all the same. All the notes move where they should, okay? So, yeah, and I do have something to say. So you have 4 verses in your hymnal. We're gonna do the first 2 verses. The third verse, is not in this hymnal. It's actually gonna go, "We are not afraid today." And I have something I'd like to say about that verse, how it got its own verse, that "We are not afraid." So when White Thugs staged a nighttime raid on Highlander Folk School, in the late 1950s, it inspired a new verse for "We Shall Overcome." According to one of the founders of Highlander Folk School, Miles Horton, a group of young people, a youth choir, was at Highlander. They were looking at a movie called Face of the South. It was dark, and suddenly raiders came in with flashlights. They must have been vigilantes and some police officers, but they weren't in uniform. They demanded the lights be turned on, but they couldn't get anybody at Highlander to do it. They were furious, running around with flashlights and screaming. In the meantime, the kids started to sing "We Shall Overcome." It made them feel good. Sorry. The raiders yelled, "Shut up and turn on the lights." Then some kids said, "We are not afraid." Then they started singing, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid," and that's how the verse was born. So the third verse will be, "We are not afraid today."
This reading is an anonymous offering from the Book of Prayers for Healing, edited by Maggie Ullman Shannon. After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't contracts, and presents aren't promises. You begin to accept your defeats, with your head and your eyes ahead, with the grace of a woman or a man, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling down mid-flight. After a while, you learn that even sunshine burns if you ask too much. So you plant your own garden and decorate your own instead of waiting for someone to buy you flowers. And you learn that you really can endure, that you really are strong, and you really do have worth. And you learn, with every failure you learn.
A couple of weeks ago, I traveled to New England to celebrate the new year and visit my younger daughter and my best friend from high school. I love spending time with these strong, independent women. Both of them were fond of my mother, who passed away last year, and we spent time discussing what we thought her response would be to current events. Mom was a woman who practiced resistance with every fiber of her being. She never wavered from the belief that through small acts, the world could be transformed into a place of peace and love and acceptance. Mom's cause of choice was women's rights, and she never passed up a chance to speak out, lend a hand, attend a rally, or lead a discussion. She was also a huge fan of the Reverend Dr. Forrest Church. Reverend Church, who passed away in 2009, served for over 30 years as senior minister at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church in New York City. He authored more than 20 books and is considered to be one of the most influential Unitarian Universalists of the 20th century. Later in his life, after receiving a cancer diagnosis, Reverend Church came up with a 3-part mantra that he said served him well in his final years. It goes, want what you have. Do what you can. And be who you are. The statement, do what you can, speaks to me in these chaotic times. According to Reverend Church, looking at life this way focuses our minds on what is possible. No more, no less, thereby filling each moment with conscious, practicable endeavor. Another observation of Reverend Church was how much wasted energy we spend trying to do what we can't, and how often we fail to optimize our efforts and thereby achieve the significant goals that do lie within our power. He goes on to say, when we quit trying because we fail to achieve our pipe dreams, we overlook what we actually could accomplish by putting our shoulder squarely to the right wheel. In other words, instead of focusing on dreams of grandeur and sweeping change, we might have a greater impact by focusing on the accomplishments that are likely achievable within the limits of our abilities, resources, and talents. Throughout history, there have been many people whose acts of bravery have made a significant impact toward making the world a better place. People like Harriet Tubman, who was instrumental in the Underground Railroad, which helped enslaved people to flee to freedom. Or Meade Keyes, who hid Anne Frank in Nazi Germany, despite the danger that it posed to her and her family. Courage comes in all sizes and all ages as well. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges probably had no idea of the impact she would have on the world when in 1960, surrounded by U.S. Marshals and hearing the jeers and slurs of protesters, she bravely marched, books in hand and head held high, into that all-white school in New Orleans. But before Ruby could make that historic walk to start the desegregation of that Louisiana school, Rosa Parks needed to take a seat on a bus in Alabama. Rosa Parks was an African-American department store seamstress who, on December 1st, 1955, refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus. At the time, Parks was not physically exhausted, nor was she too old to move. She was only 42. In her autobiography, she said, "The only tired I was tired giving in." It's less well known that 9 months earlier, also in Montgomery, Alabama, Claudette Colvin, a 15-year-old Alabama teenager, was sent to jail when she declined to give up her bus seat. She was actually one of several teenagers who were arrested for refusing to relinquish their seats in the months prior to Rosa Parks' protest. News of the teenagers' actions traveled through African-American community, and in the early part of 1955, and Ms. Parks was aware of what the girls had done. Claudette Colvin, who passed away just this last Tuesday, and her peers are not as well known as Rosa Parks. But her willingness to stand up, or in this case, sit down, to point out injustice was equally courageous. Rosa Parks' arrest in December of 1955 sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, which lasted over a year, 381 days to be exact. A young Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Montgomery Improvement Association led that boycott. It brought increased nationwide awareness, even worldwide awareness, of the atrocities of segregation. And although he was already well known as an outspoken advocate for civil rights, the boycott spotlighted and garnered support for Reverend King and his nonviolent campaign to gain equal rights for all people. And all because a few courageous people said, "Enough." Some of us, I'm sure, will remember when in the spring of 1989, the Soviet bloc started to disintegrate and the Berlin Wall began to crumble. This momentous change caused a ripple effect around the world. In China, students and other pro-democracy groups saw this as an opportunity to pressure their government to become more open. Protesters flooded into the streets of Beijing. Of course, the Chinese government had no intention of tolerating this behavior. They declared martial law. They sent military troops into Tiananmen Square to forcibly remove protesters and quell the student protests with overwhelming force. On June 4th, 1989, a violent encounter erupted, which left hundreds, possibly thousands, dead and injured. On June 5th, 1989, the day after the massacre, an unidentified man wearing a white shirt, carrying shopping bags, stepped in front of a column of tanks on Chang'an Avenue in Beijing. His name is unknown, at least officially, so the media dubbed him Tank Man. The image that is forever etched on memory in many of our memories is that of a single man standing smack dab in the middle of the road in front of a long column of huge Type 59 tanks. And when the tanks attempted to steer around him, he shifted his position to block their movement. He climbed up onto the first tank and banged on its lid. And he appeared to speak to the soldiers inside. He then climbed back down to the ground, and onlookers rushed in to pull him to safety, and he vanished into the crowd. That day, Tank Man became a global symbol of peaceful resistance and the human spirit's resistance against tyranny. In that amazing act of courage, Tank Man did what he probably thought was the only thing he could do. He stood. He just stood there, preventing the tanks from continuing to their destination. I doubt he thought he was going to bring down the Chinese government. I doubt he thought he was going to end the Communist Party. Honestly, I doubt he thought that the tanks were actually going to stop. But he did what he could. He did the only thing he had the power to do. He stood for freedom, he stood for justice, and he stood for the oppressed people of his country. What happened to Tank Man afterward is unknown. Many suspect the authorities caught up with him, and although there is no way to be sure, it's very likely that Tank Man paid dearly for his actions that day. I will always be in awe of people like Tank Man, Rosa Parks, Dr. King, and their selfless acts of courage. Actually, I'm in awe of every person who participates in peaceful protest. Those who, it turns out, at great risk to their lives, volunteer to observe the unfair actions of ICE. The millions of ordinary people who wear fun costumes and wave creative signs and flags at protest rallies. And Buddhist monks and Aloka, their dog, whose 2,300-mile walk for peace is inspiring many of us. I'm also thankful to those who make using preferred pronouns and chosen names a priority. I'm so grateful to everyone who chooses kindness and reason when standing back and giving in would be so much easier. Resistance comes in so many forms, and each of us must decide for ourselves how we will act and what form our resistance will take. Tank Man stood. Rosa and Claudette sat. Ruby and the Buddhist monks walked. For some, resistance comes through words. Words that inspire people. Such are the words of Martin Luther King Jr., which almost 50 years later still bring comfort, inspiration, and hope to many. On April 3rd, 1968, the evening before he was assassinated, Reverend King gave his famous "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech. And I'd like to share with you some excerpts from that presentation. He said, "If I were standing at the beginning of time and the Almighty said to me, 'Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in?' Strangely enough, I would turn to the Almighty and say, 'If you would allow me to live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I'd be happy.'" Now that's a strange statement to make because the world is all messed up. The nation is sick. Trouble is in the land. Confusion is all around. But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And I see God working in this period in a way that men, in some strange way, are responding. Something is happening in our world. The masses of people are rising up. And wherever they are assembled today, the cry is always the same. We want to be free. Dr. King goes on to say, "Men, for many years now, have been talking about war and peace. But now, no longer can they just talk about it. It's no longer a choice between violence and nonviolence in this world. It's nonviolence or non-existence. We've got to give ourselves to this struggle until the end. Nothing would be more tragic than to stop at this point. We've got to see it through. We go up together or we go down together." I don't know what struggles we will face in 2026. I suspect it's going to be a challenging journey. And I know that, however small my efforts, I feel called to participate in that resistance because, like my mother, I believe that through small acts, the world can be transformed into a place of peace and love and acceptance. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
We give support through UUCS through our pledges. time, and connections with one another. We support the Salem community through donations to the Marion Polk Food Share. Please provide offerings as you're able through the Little Red Wagon, should be coming up the aisle, or on the website through the offertory bags. And thank you all for all you do in helping provide hope to the world. This month, our offerings go to the Family Promise. They will be joining us once again here in March. So if you would like to provide your time in addition or instead to your financial pledge, that would be most welcome.
This is We Walk in Love. It's written by Deanna Witkowski. She's from New York, New York. And she wrote, in writing the lyrics, I wanted to include only positive text. I looked at Lift Every Voice and Sing for inspiration and created a list of words. My boyfriend Lemuel Collins came up with lyrics in places where I needed some help. So,
please join me in saying the words for giving thanks. They are printed in your order of service. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our many gifts, including these offerings. Each week, we take the flame of our community chalice and kindle the flame of our social justice lantern. This is our way of acknowledging the work of our members toward the building of a better world. So as we release these flames, carry them in your hearts until we meet.
Oh, there's way too much going on in this church to sit here, unless you guys want to be here till like now. On the back of your order of service, you will find all kinds of stuff happening. And if you're not already receiving the newsletter and the Friday update, just call the office. They'll get you on that list. And that's the best place to find out what's going on. Couple things I do want to highlight. Parents' Night Out is coming up. You can see the slide here. And if you want to either help with it or participate in it, go ahead and call the number at the bottom there. I also want to point out a couple things which were already said today, but they're super important. One is that Compassionate Connections takes place after the service today. Just meet right here, and Ariana will help you through the process. And it's a great, great way if you just need some extra time as you're going through something tough. The other thing I want to say, again, because it just can't be said enough, is how proud we are of our UUCS social justice team, in particular Joanne Ernie, Meryl McKean, and John Prodhowski, who put together the event last Sunday, which raised so much, $7,000 and counting, to help the folks who have been affected by the unfair practices of ICE. So I just can't say thank you enough for that. Anyway, I encourage you to look. There's so much going on. This place, I live nearby. This place is, the parking lot's full all the time. There's so much going on. So take a look, and I'm sure there's something you want to participate in.
Please rise and body your spirit as we sing our closing hymn, which is not from the hymnal, 'tis from the Social Justice Song Choir Songbook Handbook. Sorry, okay. So really quick, the way this is set up, we have a refrain that we all do together, the chorus up here, and then these verses are call and echo. So the choir will be the call, so you guys gotta be the echo. Okay, so we'll be listening. This is written by Melanie DeMoore. She's from Oakland, California. She's also a Unitarian Universalist. The UUA has commissioned a few pieces from her themselves. So when I put those pieces together, I was like, oh, how cool. Okay, here we go.
As you remain standing, I invite you to join with me in saying our closing words, which are printed in your order of service. You can choose to hold hands with those near you, or touch elbows, or simply acknowledge them with a nod. Whatever's right for you today. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
Sure, I'll take them. Happy to take them.
Thank you.
All right, well, take care.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well,
Why
we'll see,
didn't
man.
you tell him?
Yeah, yeah.